Well, good morning all. So today we are going to discuss about the fundamentals of transformers. What is it, how it is going to work. We are going to discuss the basics today and gradually we'll be moving towards the topic in an elaborate fashion. Now, the name says transformer. So what exactly it is? We had come across the movie Transformers, where what is happening? A robot is being transformed to a car and vice versa. Now, I am quoting this topic because it would be easier to correlate the two. Now, basically, transform, if you search the meaning of the word transform, this transform implies drastic change in nature or appearance. Means the appearance would be changed drastically or the nature is going to change drastically. So, by the example, we could say in that way that if the input would be what the example of the movie, the input is a car. Now, what a car do? Car is having some size. It can have four-person within it, and then it is having some mechanism to move on the road. What the output is? It is basically the robot having some other characters which can fight, which can do a lot of things. So, if you could see the two, so there is a drastic change in the appearance, there is a drastic change in the nature. So that is actually meant by the term transform. So what this transformer is going to do? Basically, this transformer is going to do the very same purpose as that the word say. So they would have some input, they would have some output. Now, what is the input of a transformer? The input of a transformer will be AC supply. Okay, so we are giving the AC supply as an input. Remind it, we are not going to give the DC supply because if you are going to give DC supply, it is going to harm us a lot. What it would be, I will be discussing it later on. But just remember, for the God's sake, that we should not connect DC supply to a transformer and we should go for AC supply only. So that is the input of a transformer. And what about the output? It is basically the AC output to load. So the question now may arise in your mind. Said the input is AC. So we are giving a sinusoidal input, suppose. And the output would be again sinusoidal. So well as the change in the appearance or nature, as I was saying in terms of the definition. So let us understand the phenomena. So what happened in a most general form, the transformer is going to look something like that. We are having a core on which we are having the windings. Okay, and this is the um, say primary turns which NP number of turns. This is the secondary turns with NS number of turns. There are the coils there. So we are connecting the AC supply here and then we are having the load here. So this is the general way. So the input is AC, we have said. The output is AC. It will not be DC. It will not be DC because if there is some DC output, then the transformation is not going to occur. Now, this is basically the core. So let us try to understand where exactly the transformation is. From this term AC and AC, it is clear that there is apparently no transformation. There is no transformation if you are going to check the input and output. But we are calling it transformer. So there should be some transformation. So what it is? So remember that in case of a transformer, there is a transformation of energy. The waveform, what we are checking it out, the waveforms are basically, you know, showing the voltage profile or current profile. So don't say that in case of a transformer there is a transformation of voltage or current. But what is the fact? That in case of a transformer there is a transformation of energy. Now comes where lies this energy transformation in case of a transformer. So what basically happened in a transformer? Just try to understand it. In any simplified transformer, what basically happened inside it? So what happened there is that we are giving the input as electrical energy. Now, whenever we are connecting a AC source across a coil, so there would have some flow of current. Let us suppose I am calling it IP. Now, when some current IP is actually passing through the coil, then what is going to happen? From the fundamental of magnetism, what we know that whenever a current is going to pass through a coil, it will result into a flux. Now, the question may arise that the input is AC or it's a time varying current. So, what about the nature of the flux? The flux will also be a time varying flux. So, basically, we are having the electrical energy input, and then that electrical energy, what is happening? We are having the magnetic flux which is passing from primary to secondary. So, in the initially, we are having electric, then we are having magnetic. Then what is happening in the secondary? We are having a time varying flux. Now that time varying flux is actually resulting a induced EMF in the secondary side, because what we know that whenever a conductor is placed in a time varying magnetic field, then there should have a EMF that would be generated following the Faraday's law. Now, when there is some EMF and the that is actually shorted by some load, it may be resistive, it may be inductive, it may be in between, whatever it might be. So, when it is short circuited, so what happened there? That it would result some current I is there. Now, when we are having some voltage, we are having some current. So, obviously, then there is the electrical energy output that is being delivered to the load. So here in the primary, we are feeding the electrical energy. In the output, what we are doing, we are again giving the electrical energy. But how basically this energy get transformed? Because initially it was in the electric energy, some voltage, current, and all these things are there. Then it is actually the magnetic energy from this coil to core. There is a transformation of energy. It become a magnetic energy, and then that magnetic energy is actually converted to this electrical energy in the secondary side. So there occur one transformation. This is transformation, and then here also there is occurring one transformation, and that is why it is said that basically this transformer will do what? It will basically transform the energy. Understood? So that is what you need to understand first, that this is how basically a transformer is going to work. So let me stop here. If